live. Yay! Welcome to the Women in Business Collective, where we talk with exceptional leaders about tackling the challenges that women face on their journey to the top, the things I've been helping women with for the last 18 years. I'm Susan Baroncini-Moe, and what I love about this show is that I every day get to work with women like our guests and see just how inspiring they are, see how hard they work on their struggles and their challenges. And this show lets me share that with you. So I love it. And this is our first episode. This is a spinoff from my other show, twoquestions.tv. I decided my wonderful, inspiring women in business deserve their own show. So my guest today is Kristin Walsh. She's the founder of the Accounting Collective, where she serves a variety of small businesses and their owner. Hi, Kristin. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here and on the first show. How exciting.
You're the first. Oh, my gosh. Okay, you're so brave. No, I'm kidding. Okay, well, so we're going to start with your journey. So let me hide our names here. Maybe that we're getting used to the technology. That's okay. There we go. We can see our faces now. Okay. So we start with the journey. So tell us a little bit about your story and how you got where you are today.
Okay. So I actually never really planned on having my own business or any of that, which most people don't.
Nice.
So I started off in, corporate America. I worked for a large international CPA firm, and I was chugging along, doing my thing, working a lot. And then I had my first child and kind of pulled back on my hours a little bit and, didn't like that very well. And then after my second child, I wanted to go on a flex schedule, and I loved the firm I was working for, but they were like, hey, we really need you to be here full time. You manage a lot of projects and we just need you here full time. And I said, it's just not gonna work for me. At the time, my husband was also a CPA and was working a ton. And so I said, you know what, it's time. So I was totally afraid, but I jumped ship and started my own small consulting business. And I thought, this is just going to be part-time and I'll have some bookkeeping clients and kind of do it that way. Then it kind of gained some traction, especially because when I started, the firm that I had worked for said, we're going to just kind of help you out and give you some clients, because at least we know that you're going to do the work correctly. And then when it comes to us, then we can, prepare tax returns with it and everything. And people so often need good bookkeepers. So I got clients that way. And then I grew it to a full-time thing, not super fast, but, within a couple of years. And then life happened. I went through a divorce and then thought, oh my gosh, I really have to get together, and I have to do this for my kids. And that's when I really went all in and decided this is my business and I am proud of it. I am going to put it all out there. And that's when I grew it, and I now have employees, and I love it. And I'm so glad that I made that choice. So it was somewhat out of necessity, but it ended up being just such a blessing in disguise.
Isn't it funny how sometimes life has a way of sort of forcing our hand where, and I think that happens with business where, a lot of us, maybe think, I'm going to try this thing and see how it goes. And, and then,
Right.
We find ourselves like, no, I really want to make this a real business. Oh, look, I'm in a real business. I have a team. When did that happen?
Yes, definitely.
It's so funny how we do that to ourselves. Oh. Well, so you had some obstacles along the way, some challenges. What are some of the things that you had to manage more effectively or overcome in the way of obstacles and roadblocks?
So a couple things for me, I don't know if it's an accountant thing or a type A personality thing. I am a perfectionist, and I always felt like this has to be perfect before I move forward. My website has to be amazing. My logo has to be amazing. All these things that, yes, you want to put some thought into your business because it's a reflection of you. But perfection doesn't exist in business most of the time. And although your client service and the product that you're delivering, you want it to be accurate, it's not going to be perfect 100% of the time. So I had to learn that done is better than perfect. And so for me, I mean, the website was one thing for me that it was just like, okay, well, the website has to be great before I send out and blast my email and kind of say, here I am. And eventually
people check that domain.
So, eventually I tried to do it all myself and, not a technical person. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to hire someone to do it and I'm going to trust them and it's going to be amazing. And whatever it is, I'm going to go with it. And it's not going to stop me from, selling my services. And that's what I did. I put a deadline on the calendar and I said, this is what we're doing. Yeah. So, done is better than perfect. And that was important for me to not have to sit and nitpick every little thing. And even with my projects, it's the same way, is it formatted correctly? Is this email perfect? No, just get it done and send it out. And the clients want to see a finished project and they're not nitpicking it as much as you are. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. I hear that a lot from clients that they want it to be perfect. And then when they begin to delegate, it's difficult to let go of things because a lot of times, when you're really good at what you do, what you do, even on your worst day, is still better than what a lot of people do on their best day. And so it can become a real challenge to try and let those things go and let them do them less perfectly than you would.
Absolutely. Yes.
Always a challenge. Definitely. All right. So we move into a positive space with the advice. What advice do you have for other women in business?
So for me, I kind of struggled for a little while with, okay, I'm doing accounting. Now, a lot of women are out there doing these really cool, sexy things, like they're in the creative space or they're in the fitness space. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Why couldn't I do that? Like, oh, like I'm doing this accounting stuff. It's kind of boring. And I had to stop comparing myself to everybody else. Or even people, in the financial arena, I would go and look at their websites or their Instagram and I'd be like, oh, should I be doing this? Should I be doing, more networking? Should I be doing all of these things? Yeah. And I thought, no, while it is good to see what the competition is doing or what other people are doing, comparing yourself to everybody else out there is not going to serve you. And you have to decide what you're going to do, follow your passion and your unique gifts. You put them out into the world and that's what people want to see. You show up as yourself and you don't have to be like everybody else. And as long as you're being genuinely you, that's such a gift. It is. And I think that is something that I would definitely say is don't feel like you have to be doing what everybody else is doing and have the most perfect Instagram feed or blog posts or whatever, because let's be honest, ladies, life is messy and it's not perfect. And just be you, and that's the beauty of being able to do your own thing. That's really great.
That's a funny thing. It's funny. You were talking about the website earlier, and I think it's funny. I hear people talk about their competition and, oh my gosh, they're so successful and they have this website and look how successful they are. Mm-hmm. And I think it can be very deceiving because anyone can look successful with a website. Like you could have a magnificent website that makes you look like a huge business. Mm-hmm. And there's an art to that. And you could still not have any clients and you can still make yourself look like some successful international firm, right? Yeah. And so I think that's, for me, that's the big thing that I see most often is people believe what they see on social media, on websites, and forgetting that there's a whole backstory there. So when you see the perfect pictures on Instagram from that person's vacation on a personal level, you don't know like it took 14 different attempts to get that picture. You don't know that the kids were mad and that you had to get mad at them to make them take the picture. And then like, but later you had, you know, somebody, you know, I don't know, who knows what, like people watching this may not know, in this arm right here, I have 6 stitches. Like, you don't know that. Like I had an embarrassing accident this weekend. There are just things people don't, you know, that you don't know. And so, you know, I think we compare our experience with our knowledge of our entire life,
right,
with the limited knowledge that we get from seeing people online, on social media, the way people even present themselves in networking situations.
right.
Some people are really good at that. And and half the time I'm like, I don't know if I should believe you, because I know what I do and I don't have to do all that. And, you know,
right.
Sometimes the people who posture the most are not the most successful.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
fascinating
And I
stuff.
do find that clients, you know, in a broad variety of industries, and even in my industry where people are looking for experts in my field, you know, they're also looking for a relationship with someone.
Yes.
They want to feel that they can trust someone and that, you know, someone is being real with them.
Absolutely.
And so that's really important, to just show up as yourself.
Authenticity.
It's very important.
But I think authenticity paired with integrity, because
Absolutely.
authenticity has started to become like a marketing word now, where it's like, be authentic, you know what I mean? Like, and I get you're saying the real message, which is be genuine, be genuinely you. And I want to make sure we distinguish that from this marketing deal where it's like, be you, but, you know, be the Instagram version of you.
Right. Exactly. And time, you know, they're looking for me to have answers all the time, but they hire me to have a relationship with me and for me to be an advisor. And I am the first one to tell them, if they ask me a question and I don't know the answer, I will say, I'm not sure, but I know I can figure it out. I have resources to find exactly what we need in the situation. And don't worry, we'll get this all settled. And that makes them feel more comfortable than me just spitting out some, maybe this is right, you know, version of the truth. So, you know, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to be perfect. Just show up and you do the best you can and you connect with people.
Good advice. Such good advice. Absolutely. Kristin, where can folks find you?
I can be found, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I have a Twitter that is not super active. And I have a website that's at www.theaccountingcollective.com.
Great. And we'll put that link in the show notes so that people can click it easily. Thank you so much for joining me today and being my first guest on the spinoff.
All right.
All right, that's it for today, my friends. I'm Susan Baroncini-Moe. This has been the Women in Business Collective show. I do these shows most weekdays, 9:30 or 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, depending on how our schedule works. If you think you might be a great guest for the show, or you know a woman who's a successful business owner, a woman in the C-suite, or an executive at the VP level or above, and you think she might be a good fit, visit us at womeninbusinesscollective.com to learn more about how you can apply. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.